Hey guys, what's up? It's Patricia here with Gary's Pool and Patio, and I'm excited to come to you today with my friend Joe Garcia with Lyon Financial. Joe, so Gary's Pool and Patio, we're more than 46 years doing fiberglass pools, and I'm excited to have you on with me today to talk about some of the financing side of things because you are also very, very experienced, and for many of those years, you've been doing swimming pool loans. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now, yourself and Line Financial.
Hey, Patricia, great to be here. Thank you. In 46 years, well, I'll tell you what, Lyon Financial, 47 years. So we're right there with you, very experienced on both sides. But myself, talking about experience, about 24 years in the finance world. A lot of it, most of it on the secured side, which we'll touch base soon, meaning in the bank and on the bank side. And then in the last 5 years on the unsecured side here with Lyon Financial. And in between, about 5, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, I actually ran a pool company here in Dallas, where I'm based out of, for 2 years. So I have the secured experience, the unsecured experience, and then the actual pool industry experience, designing, construction, a little bit of everything. So yes.
Gotcha. Well, and I love that because I know when our sales team has customers they're working with and they've got finance questions, if they
Mhm.
come to you, they're going to have someone who actually knows how to answer those and help them make those educated decisions that they need to when they're going through this whole process. So I think financing is probably one of the very top questions we get. What types of loans are out there? What am I looking at as far as interest rates? Where's my payment going to be? Which I
Yep.
think is probably the most important one. So let's jump right in, no pun intended. Let's dive in. And if you would, give me a little bit about what you're seeing most as far as what loan programs people are going with right now for swimming pools.
A lot of clients in today's environment, and again, we're talking about the world environment, they're really focusing on the unsecured side. And the reason why is when you go secured, that means that there's going to be a collateral lien on the property of the house. Customers are kind of worried about that right now. So they focus more on the unsecured side, which allows them, like personal loans, which allows them to get a loan without any collateral with us, and they can, again, pay it with cash or other programs. But that's what they're leaning a little bit more of. It's more towards that. Uh, I think a little bit of fear of, okay, should I put that second lien on my house, or especially the ones that have paid off their houses. They're taking all these years to do that, and the last thing they're looking for is, okay, let me go ahead and take something out to add another lien to the house. So that's one of the things we're seeing, and I can tell you this from experience and some data that I've done, some cases that I've done. A lot of customers that walk into a pool showroom, for the most part, are unsecured eligible, and about maybe 10 to 15% are secured eligible. Understanding the finance partner you're working with, and then on top of that, to your question, the product. That's the big thing. Okay, which one can benefit me the most? And then that's
So with the unsecured loans, which you're saying most people fall into, there's no requirement, correct me if I'm wrong, but no requirement, right, on having equity in the property. Because I think a lot of people hold off on jumping into a swimming pool project because they know they don't have equity or they think they don't have enough equity to get some financing approved for it.
And you're exactly right. You nailed it. Not enough equity, because the majority of our customers are coming in and have brand new homes within the last 3 or 4 years, so they don't have the equity. And our products are unsecured, so they're not tied to the house at all. In fact, we have certain products that they don't even have to be on the deed of the house, which is unheard of. You can't do that on the secured side, and a lot of lenders in our side of the industry can't do that either because they have a different type of secure lien on them. For us, we do not hear a line. But you're exactly right, because when they hear the word equity or they're new, one, they might not have the equity, but two, and I think it's creeping up even more and more now, they're a lot less inclined to do that because in today's economic times.
Gotcha. Yeah, so lots of different options out there,
Mhm.
with or without having equity in the home. So that's great because I think, a lot of people will hesitate also when it comes to looking at getting a pool because know how long it would take to save up enough money to pay cash for it. And if they don't think there's financing options out there, then it will, keep them on the fence and as far as waiting. And so I think if they know the options that are out there and they know that there's a lot of different ways that they can make it happen, a lot more people would be swimming. And here in our area, we're on that time frame right now when it's getting ready to happen again, and it happens every
Yep.
single year. It's getting ready to get really hot, and so a
It,
lot of
it,
people, they wait every year for that perfect moment when it comes to being able to get a loan. And I don't think they realize how many great options there are out there for them.
Well, and again, what you're saying there are the options. And to your point, the customers, do they really have, 50,000, 75,000, 100 plus thousand readily available? Most of them do not. You have a very few, select few that do. And it doesn't matter they have it or they do not have it. It doesn't matter if it's a new construction or remodel. So, again, going back with the product, every customer should be offered a finance opportunity. And again, the reason why is when you have a project that costs 50, 7,500,000, they're going to need some type of finance. But for the ones that have the cash, when you offer finance with them, they're going to increase their project size from 70, 80 to maybe 90 to 100,000 because now they have an extra avenue to build a project today versus waiting it another year or 2 years to get that done.
Right. Yeah, I was actually talking with a customer who's jumping in right now to the whole process. And we were talking about the different things that are out there when it comes to the financing. And this is someone who recently refinanced their home, doesn't have a bunch of cash in the bank that they want to apply to this, but they're tired of waiting. And so we talked about just that. Waiting will do a couple things. It will almost always guarantee that you're going to pay a higher price for the pool, but it's going to, more importantly, take away from that time that you have to enjoy the pool. So you can get in, you can start enjoying it now, because there's so many different options out there, with the secured, but also with the unsecured. And I think we probably do see a majority, like you said, very high majority of people who finance go with the unsecured loans.
Yeah, and again, when you're talking to customers that want to wait, and some of them will wait, hey, you know what? Maybe the rate this or the rate that, and what we have to remember is the rate's going to probably go down a quarter point, if that. And when that happens, and then over a year, a quarter point is probably no more than an extra, $5 to $10 worth of savings a month. The biggest thing is the inflation piece. That's what you have to worry about because that inflation will outpace the quarter percent savings, and we try to remind customers buy today, because you'll get more pull today than you will this time next year if you stick with that same budget at a dollar amount, just because of the inflation.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's such great information. So when a customer is looking at getting a pool, they need to look at financing, even if they have cash. We've covered that. And then they need to look at the different options between a secured loan, which is tying the property itself to the loan, and then the different options that are out there with the unsecured loans. Am I getting that right?
You're exactly right. And just remember, an easy way to remember this is when you go secured, maybe 15 to 20% of the people that walk in the door are eligible for that. When you go unsecured, 100% of the people that walk in your door are eligible for that. So that will help you assist your clients that are ready to buy today.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the great information. And on our next one, we're going to talk about some great stuff as well, too. I think on the next one, why don't we jump into some of the things that we're seeing with interest rates and
Yeah,
payments? Sound like a plan?
it does. I'm
Sounds
ready
like a
for it.
plan. Thank you so much, Joe. I'll talk with you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.